because
Absolutely.
on my way home, I'm going to be on the other side of the road.
All right, well, let's get started. Go to call to order. Roll call. I'm here. Councilmember Evans is here. Councilmember Watson is here. Reports and presentations. Personnel update. Wherever she is.
I think she's coming.
Okay. We switch that out.
Can you wing it?
She did. Yeah, I got an email with that.
Well played.
Oh, yeah. Okay, of course I didn't bring this.
Yeah. Nice.
You don't want mine.
So, open recruitments. We have a lateral police officer, exceptional police officer, our construction inspector upstairs in public service. Had interviews yesterday and today for the 2 vacant administrative assistants down in the department. And Miranda went over to the police department, and we have one of our community service officers that started on the 7th. I think you all have heard on the community service officer, Albert, has submitted his resignation, and then our other officer had a slip and fall, and he's out for an indefinite period. So then we're conditional offers. We've received the conditional offer for the 2nd community service. Of course, we have continuous recruitments for the youth sports official, the before and after program assistants. The senior services director is open.
Dishwasher?
That's Sue?
No?
Isn't that for Lori's
A senior aide position. Yeah. And then Joshua Candia started as our prosecutor on the 10th. So he had been our Rule 9 successful candidate to be our prosecutor position. Yes, yeah, and that you all had authorized. Upcoming recruitments, we have a public works maintenance worker 2. Hopefully by the end of the month, we will get the limited duration emergency management coordinator position out on the street.
Oh, good.
If you recall, we did that for a 2-year limit. And then, not on your list, breaking news, Melissa Johnson will be leaving us January. Pursue a promotional opportunity.
January 25th?
January 25th. Future.
Go work with a friend, probably, huh?
I would imagine so.
Well, that's good.
All right.
She's happy.
Well, thank you for that.
Yeah.
You missed out on the important part.
Just in
She
time.
was standing right outside. I watched her
Yeah.
stand there till John was done.
Oh,
Well played.
okay. It's all about timing.
Yeah.
You found out that you're short-handed pretty soon.
All right, we'll move on to business and action items. AB 22-05, Resolution 3004. Stephanie.
What this is, they also have so customers get the utility. Currently, they can't do that. They can only get one. So this opens it up for our customers to get more help. But in order to receive those funds, all it is saying that we are authorized to receive those funds customers for their utility bills.
Any questions? Yeah.
So reading through this, do they have to miss payments for a certain long
Yeah, they
time?
do have to miss some payments. What Pierce County has done is that they will call and work with us and the customer to figure out how far customers are behind, how much money they need. If the customer needs $700, they'll pay $700. If they need $2,400, they'll pay $2,400. They're going to try and get people's past dues down. That's their goal in this whole program.
But they've got to miss a few payments, so.
They do have to, you can't do it after one payment.
Right, that's my question.
Yes. That's not what they consider in
Right.
arrears.
But they would bring them current.
They would bring them current. Yes.
Okay.
The other question I have for you, households must be at or below the 150% of the federal poverty level. What's that level?
Usually it's about, but for a single family or for a single person, it's $26,000 a year. That's usually what they consider the poverty level, anything under that. And then it goes up, how many people are within the household.
Right.
How much money is set aside to do?
They didn't tell us.
Okay.
They just said that they got money to put in for another fund, and that if we wanted to receive proceeds from this fund, I needed to have this brought to you guys to get it signed by the mayor.
With this, I mean, this is talking about helping those in need. Is this also a time that we could possibly look at our senior discount? Or, and that's not so much a question for you, but on this side of the table, for right now, it's only for those that own a home,
Right.
and not for those that rent a home.
So maybe Ryan can chime in. I know we were working on that update to the water code. That would be part of that.
Okay.
Yeah, I've asked Jack to dive back into that. We pushed that off for a little while. A few things that we wanted to time that with. One of them, so we can certainly incorporate that into the revisions we were to further develop that. And
Okay.
if that's something that is desired, we can certainly.
Okay. Well, if you're already working on it, I just want to make sure that right now we're only capturing those that are fortunate enough to own and not rent. And if they're all making the same, all be equally treated the same.
It's not falling off our radar.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Justin, I've been working with, because I also feel that our senior discount program is kind of lacking.
Yeah.
So something that I have talked with both Ryan and Sherry.
Okay.
We're gonna do a visit.
Okay. Great.
Sherry, how long do you have the monthly reads, you think?
How many what?
How long do you go with the monthly reads, switching over, monthly bills?
I just got
Oh.
Our goal, okay, this is the way I put it to Ryan. My goal is April 1st, more than likely June 1st.
Okay.
Just because, go ahead, Sherry.
Yeah, Tom, we haven't even approved to use those funds to get everybody on a radio read. So to be able to do a monthly read isn't possible quite yet. Steph's just doing the part where she's updating the Neptune software to get us there. And then we still have work to do on, allocating those ARPA funds. So Steph, I think June 1st is optimistic.
It would be nice to do it before the summer rates hit.
Yeah, and just as an FYI, I just heard from Neptune today, and they are working with Eden right now to get because in order to go to monthly reads, our billing software has to match our new AMR software, and they are working on that right now. So.
Anything else?
Nope, we're good.
And this is on your consent agenda.
Okay. Everybody's good with that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you. We'll move on to approval of meeting notes.
They're all perfect. Good job, Debbie.
Great job. Open discussion. Tom, you got anything?
Well, do you have any concerns about using extra money for the park funds approval tonight, Sherry? Coming out of
It's not my money, it's your money. I said what I needed to say last week. You guys had already authorized $2.8 million to be transferred from the general fund ending balance to the park fund. And this is another, Ryan can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was another 1.6 million you wanted to transfer, Ryan?
Correct.
So
you're comfortable with that?
I won't say if I'm comfortable or not. This is not my decision to make. It's your decision.
Okay, thank you.
Are we putting
I
ourselves
mean,
You have
enough in your ending fund balance to meet the requirements of what GFOA would have as their standards. So you meet the standards. You're fine there. It's whether or not you guys feel comfortable spending that money towards parks and what you may need to spend that money on in the future. I've told you before, parks and streets are probably the two funds that you'll have to support out of your ending fund balance in the future.
Thank you. Are we bringing forward the contract with new guy?
Our kayak guy.
Kayak guy.
Yes, so Jack and Todd Bright are working on that. I just sent them some information the other day, a little bit of background info on what our agreement with Cascade Water looks like for the use of the dike. And they are crafting that. This is going to be something that, because just tossing that out to make you aware of, because of the potential dollar value of this and the fact that the contract is now over, in order to really properly engage this and move forward again, it has to go out for advertisement. It isn't just a shoe-in that Burhan will get this.
Right.
I imagine he may be the only one that actually chooses to go after it, but according to not only our purchasing and contracting procedures, but the state, this will be something we have to advertise.
I recall you had some problems a couple of years ago, but that was last year or the year before, that what was going on. We pretty well
Ram?
reserved all that. We defined that.
Well, this past summer, I know we had Cascade Water Alliance had issues when he brought in that container.
Yeah, he does a good business out there during the summer. Unfortunately, though, things can get a little out of hand, and he slowly kind of spreads his operation out. Last year, he was storing kayaks there that were not what we agreed to. It's taking up extra room. Cascade couldn't get access to the dike. So there's still some issues to work out. We're trying to incorporate some of those safeguards into the contract so that we can say, hey, per the contract, this is not allowable. So we'll be moving that forward once we get the review done. And I suppose it probably want to bring that through before we go out to advertisement. Finance committee would want to review that.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
And I have one more question for you.
Sure.
Should we approve this tonight with the park program going on down there, the construction on your park?
You know,
There's going to be a lot of losses out there where they're going to be working this summer. Are you anticipating hand losing boat parking and stuff?
Boat parking is going to be a problem, and we are trying to wrap our heads right now around how we not only deal with boat trailer parking, but then if it's a hot summer, all of the car and vehicle traffic that will come down that isn't pulling a boat trailer. It's going to be a challenge, a big challenge, and we're going to have people upset with us about it. Because if you fill up parking lot 4 and you fill up the 2 lots both on the facing the water and along Bonney Lake Boulevard, people are just going to start parking along the streets in the neighborhood to the west. I think it's the west. Remember, too, it won't be this summer, but next summer we're also going to have now condominiums on that corner, and they're going to have their own traffic volume as well. So I foresee some issues this summer with dealing with boat trailer parking. Your question, I think
Well, the
you were
question
saying,
was, have you anticipated what to do prior to the summer coming? Because they're going to start here in a couple months if we should approve it.
well, and that's why I mentioned that at the last council meeting. I think we're going to need input from the council on what it is out there, because it will be people contacting you saying they have a problem with it. And so I'd like to get ahead of that game a little bit and work with the council to decide what it is that.
And on top of that question, have you thought about your own facilities over there when you guys move out, instead of just being a skeleton thing there, instead of possibility of getting that, you're not going to use it, taken down? And if I know you can drive through there.
You know, my assumption has been, since the council didn't approve the roof repairs for the 21-22 biennium, that was the direction we were heading with that building, is that it would be senior center. No, that will remain.
Everything behind.
But the old city hall building would be torn down.
Because you're so quick getting things taken down when you need to. I mean, would be something for us to consider anyway.
Yeah.
Well, and then, you have the Historical Society.
Yeah.
They're
So
going to come to you and want to know where they're going to land.
Yeah. So there are some issues with making the decision to tear that down, because you will be replacing at least the Historical Society, and I will go ahead and throw out now, that's a big demolition effort, and probably not one that we would saddle it through with.
What about the back part where the buildings are back
Up
there?
on the hill?
Yeah.
So
you
a
can
couple
drive
different
through
things
there
there.
if you need to.
Yeah, there's a couple things there, and some of it is ideas that I still haven't had a chance to really sit down and bring through buy off on. I would like to keep the green sewer building back there for parks so that they can stage equipment there when they're working. The original plan has been that all of that would be demolished
Right.
and it'd be parking. So I'd like to at least have that idea entertained. You know, whether it's something we actually do or not would be a decision that would. But we do have options out there.
Expensive.
All the sod on the roof over there, you could probably offset some of the demolition costs.
We got
friendly green road.
we got sod, we've got enough gravel on that roof for some road work. I mean, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
There is also fiber going through that building to other buildings, so we do have to reroute fiber connectivity before it's torn down.
Is that in this budget?
No.
Is
That was quick.
the
Sherry's
Sherry's
saying
just
no.
all-
is with the ballpark, the new boat parking as well? Is that all? I can't recall. Is that all in that one phase?
Is the talking about new boat trailer parking?
Yeah. So if we, I don't know that I've got it in my bag right now. If we approve that Alan York part two, is that strictly the field, or is that also
It's just a field. It does not include the boat trailer parking. The figure
which is right next
that
to
you
it?
may be referencing that's in that master plan for Allen York Park
Yeah.
shows boat trailer parking that's in a sensitive area. That will never be built there.
Oh, okay. That's what I was going off of. Was that?
Yeah.
That
That boat
plan.
trailer
Oh, so
parking
it's gonna be
is,
okay.
that's shown in error.
Yeah, so the
That'll
project
never happen.
tonight would just be the ball field itself and the parking
Towards the water.
is directionally challenged
Yeah.
towards the water.
All I got.
I'm just parking towards the water. I'm trying to.
Well,
picture
the parking for the ball field itself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It's right
in
next to
in
it.
Yeah,
front,
right next to
in
it,
front of it. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
And what Justin was referencing is on the opposite side of the ball field, there was that strip of trailer parking, boat trailer parking.
Which will never happen.
Which won't be, yeah.
And certainly wouldn't, even if it were, wouldn't replace currently the number of spots. But yeah, I mean, you will, as you alluded to, you will have an issue because you'll have ongoing construction and none of that will be open.
Another
That's mine.
byproduct of limiting the number of boats on the lake too.
Another reason to put it somewhere else.
So can we limit the amount of people that, can we limit the amount of people that use our launch like the county does? I mean, we discussed this years ago. I forget.
Well, I think to a certain degree, these launch, they can want with it. Have to also take a look at the agreement with CWA because I think there's language in there that kind of governs how we use some of that property. I would say though that to actually limit it, I think you'd have to have a really good reason. Or I don't know how you would limit it equitable.
Right now, it's essentially limited by number of boat trailers.
Right,
and
and then they
parking,
just go out
right?
and
Correct.
Correct.
Yeah.
Corrects itself right now.
How does county park just by the amount of people in there? Not a
They
parking
can
lot.
close
Well, they
the
have
park.
one road in
They
and
have-
one road out.
That is what I've
Yeah.
been saying about
So
Allen Park
they-
for years, right?
yeah.
If you have one way in, one way out, you can just close the park.
Yeah, they
you're
just
good.
closed the gate.
There was a discussion many years ago about coordinating with Pierce County, that with Pierce County would close the launch, Bonney Lake would go out and close our launch as
I
well.
remember that, yes.
I don't know if that's ever happened, but there was a healthy discussion about that.
At this time, I don't know that anything was ever resolved where that sounds like before my time.
15 years ago.
How do you close it?
Yeah,
Oh,
how do you
yeah.
enforce that? You have somebody down there.
Because you still got to allow the boats to get out.
Right, yeah.
Exactly.
Right, so one comes out, you let one more back in?
Anything else?
I got nothing.
Easy one tonight.
Yeah, I don't have anything. I guess we're adjourned.
Glad you showed
Go
up.
home.
Thanks, too.
Eat and hydrate.